Welcome back to SBR Forum Videos. After a disappointing exit to the playoffs last season, the Chicago Bulls finally let go of longtime head coach Tom Thibodeau after tension with the front office and some of his starters. But with virtually the same roster coming back into the 2015-2016 season, can the Chicago Bulls, with new head coach Fred Hoiberg, get past the Cleveland Cavaliers, who come in as a big -200 favorite to win the Eastern Conference and are huge favorites as well, along with the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs to win the championship here next season? Where Chicago didn't finish the regular season great against the spread, only 46-47-1, including the playoffs going against the spread. They were very good against good teams. For instance, they were one of only 4 teams to actually beat the Warriors on the road in Oracle Arena last season. However, they were a really bad bet against the spread against some bad teams, especially those below 500 teams. So that's going to have to change, obviously, next season. But bringing in Hoiberg should really help out a Chicago offense that was stagnant at times last season under Tom Thibodeau. Despite scoring over 100 points per game, the Bulls now have a coach who could really light it up on the offensive end and hopefully get the best out of this roster, who could really go 10 or 11 guys deep heading into this season. But right now, the Chicago Bulls are an unreal value at Bet365, coming in at +650 to win the Eastern Conference this season, behind only Cleveland at -200. And if this happens to be the Eastern Conference Finals matchup between these two clubs, Chicago is definitely not going to be this big of an underdog. So they could be a pretty solid bet heading into the offseason here at +650 from Bet365. And I would recommend taking that value because even though the Chicago Bulls have injury risk as well, the Cleveland Cavaliers have almost as much injury risk at this point right now. Kyrie Irving has proved to be a very injury-prone point guard. Probably not as much as Derrick Rose, obviously, but he really hasn't played a full season throughout his entire career. Been very brittle, and of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers still have not re-signed Tristan Thompson. However, it does appear that they will indeed get that deal done. But a lot of things can happen between now and May, so +650 could be a really good speculative off-season bet here on the Chicago Bulls. Remember, they had the Cleveland Cavaliers down 2-1 last season in the second round of the playoffs before Tom Thibodeau's rotation and Pau Gasol's hamstring injury really derailed all of that last season. But they brought back their two-way monster in Jimmy Butler. Of course, that was an absolutely crucial signing for this club. He was a restricted free agent, but he ended up signing with the Bulls anyway without having to sign any offer sheets. They brought back Mike Dunleavy. They brought back Aaron Brooks. So this club has a lot of depth, potentially, if they can get some minutes out of rookie Bobby Portis, who's been looking very, very good in Summer League. And, of course, their first-round draft pick from last year, Doug McDermott. But Bulls have a long way to go on offense, but could they be the Warriors of last season? We'll see. Of course, Golden State had virtually the same roster they did from 2 years ago this past year, brought in Steve Kerr over Mike Jackson, and Mark Jackson ended up winning the championship. So could Fred Hoiberg be the Chicago Bulls' Steve Kerr? A little early to tell, but the Chicago Bulls sure are on the right track, and they do seem to be just a little bit undervalued in the future odds here this offseason. But that'll do it for me this time. Make sure you check out some of my other NBA previews coming out later this week. But until next time, for SBR Forum Videos, I'm Jordan Sharp.